Hi everyone. Today, I just have a quick update on the French parliamentary elections before tonight's highly anticipated interview between Kamala Harris and CNN's Dana Bash. So with haste, to France! Where last we left off, the French had completed the second round of their parliamentary elections, which ended up with some amazing results, with the leftist alliance, the Nouveau Front Populaire, a coalition of the Socialists, Greens, Communists, and Mélenchon's France Unbowed, coming out first in the number of seats, albeit short of a majority. Macron's centrist group came second, and in a stunning reversal, Madame Le Pen's far-right National Rally came third. So what was the prognostication? Let's go back to the episode.
This is going to be extremely tricky. The socialists shouldn't compromise without getting anything from Macron. And if they get anything real from Macron, the Republicans are not going to vote for that. I'm not going to agree to it. I think it's going to be deadlock.
So it's a deadlock.
Deadlock.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, after a short period where nothing happening was justified due to Paris hosting the Olympics, we are now, as anticipated, smack dab in the times of deadlock. We have political chaos in France. After meeting with all the groups, Macron has refused to name a prime minister from the left-wing coalition that won the most parliamentary seats in the snap election last month. And let me remind people that Lucie Castet isn't some firebrand leftist. She is the director of financial affairs at Paris City Hall and an economist by trade. So already, the leftist alliance had moderated its peak before nominating it to Macron, but the great Napoleon Light declared no, that such a government would immediately have a majority of more than 350 MPs against it, effectively preventing it from acting. Macron added, in view of the opinions expressed by the political leaders consulted, the institutional stability of our country means that this option should not be pursued. So with Macron effectively ruling out the center-left pick, the one, by the way, that by votes most voting people would agree to, there simply is no path forward. Unless the guy who got the fairly moderate of the alliance, the leader of the Greens, to call his actions a disgrace and dangerous democratic responsibility, to vote with him on his centrist or center-right pick, this shit ain't happening. So in conclusion, this shit ain't happening. The great Macron has managed to steer his country straight into a constitutional shitstorm of paralysis. Well done, wanker. Just a reminder why this is bad. Well, in the Fifth Republic, the president takes care of foreign policy and the prime minister takes care of domestic policy. Usually from the same party and ideology, sometimes on opposite sides, but until now, someone could become prime minister. This time, it honestly seems unlikely. And before we leave, let's just have a brief look at the Leftist Alliance's manifesto, the policy program, let me remind everyone, that received the most votes in the last French parliamentary elections. A manifesto supported by Thomas Piketty, one of the best economists around, which includes a substantial increase in the minimum wage, wages indexed to prices, and free school lunches. Coach already been here. Most importantly, the NFP wants to prioritize investment in the future by increasing public spending on infrastructure throughout the country, including in isolated rural areas, as well as in health, education, and research. This is the only coherent way to plan for the future and to increase labor productivity, which under Macron has declined by 5%. The detailed NFP economic manifesto was launched last month with full costings because, and this is new, the NFP's plans are balanced from a budgetary viewpoint. Investment in future growth and productivity, as well as in energy and climate transition, could be made affordable through progressive wealth taxation, the introduction of an exit tax, effective taxation of multinational firms, and the long-awaited fight against social, fiscal, and environmental dumping. This program would also give workers more power within the companies that employ them by improving corporate governance. For example, reserving a third of seats on company boards for employees' representatives, following similar provisions that have existed for decades in Nordic countries and Germany. Or, as Trump would call it, super communism. This program will allow the left to look towards winning back votes in rural areas and smaller cities where people have gradually turned to the far right. As we show in our book, A History of Political Conflict, people in smaller cities and rural areas are drawn to the far right first and foremost because of socioeconomic concerns. They lack purchasing power. They suffer most from the lack of investment in public infrastructure, and they feel that they have been abandoned by governments of all stripes in recent decades. The NFP's policy platform credibly addresses how to finance a strategy of inclusive investment. By contrast, the far right argues in favor of repealing the existing tax on real estate multimillionaires, so populist. It claims it will finance its policies by targeting foreigners, so far right, and welfare recipients, but this will simply generate more economic disillusionment and more tensions. And he's got them right. So just wanted to let you know that people like Piketty have put the hours in, they've put the days in, they've put the fucking years in. They definitely aren't perfect, but they damn sure spend a lot more brain power trying to solve these issues from a rational, uncorrupted, humanitarian standpoint than fucking Emmanuel and his team, whose best fucking idea facing a disgruntled fucking populace was making them work more. Will we be getting that program implemented? Nope. Will we be getting any program implemented? Nope. Vive la France!